Hey everybody! So today I'm going to show you how to create a monochromatic effect with your makeup. Monochromatic makeup has been all across the runways and on the red carpet. Basically what it means is creating similar tones and colors along the entire complexion. So using shades of cheek color, lip color, eye color, all within the same family of colors and tones. So you can actually easily recreate this look with just really a few simple products. And this also helps to reduce any kind of complication. So a lot of products with monochromatic looks you can double. So your cheek color can become your eyeshadow color. Your bronzer can become your shadow as well. So it's super versatile and you don't have to use like 10 different products to create one look. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so to note, I already have foundation and concealer on, and I also have my eyebrows filled in. So just knocking out a couple steps before we get into the color. So the first product that I'm going to use to create this specific monochromatic look is a bronzer. Now, the overall look will be kind of like a peachy gold, earthy, tawny effect. So that'll be my monochromatic look, although you can create it with any kind of shade. You can go with rosy shades, pink shades, perhaps even some plums. I'm gonna keep this a little bit more kind of like beachy inspired, so a little bit more bronzy and warm on the skin. So I'm going to start with, and I have this flipped over, this is my Lolo South Beach bronzer. Here it is right here, look at the back of it. And it's a loose powder bronzer, and you can actually use this as your cheek color as well, just overall, given the versatility of the product. But what I'm going to do is I'm actually just tapping a little bit into the cup right here. And then I'm going to take my crown brush. This is the Jumbo SS023 Kabuki brush, which I love for contouring. It just creates a little bit more of a natural contour without the sharp line. So I'm going to fill in and just dab my brush and get it coated really, really well. As you can see the powder flying up here. Once I get each end of the brush coated, I'm going to give it an extra tap, and that's going to release any excess color. So now I'm going to begin by just sculpting the bronzer along the underside of my cheek and then moving it up towards the top edge of my ear. So that creates the initial contour. And I just love using this brush because it's so fluffy when it goes on, and it allows you to create just a really natural looking definition. So it's kind of like the contour and definer brush for dummies. But I just love the way that it works. So right away, I just kind of sculpted and created a really pretty kind of sun-kissed contour right there. So I'm going to continue with the other side and get my brush coated and do the same exact thing. And then I'm going to tap out the excess of my brush. Make sure you tap it out, because if you have too much product and you begin to apply it, then it may look a little bit streaky. So it's always better to tap out excess and then begin to blend and layer. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And when you create a contour, I like to keep the color along the outer edge of the cheek, and with very light feathery strokes build it up. So it's just going to remain on the outer edge, and if I feel like I've even contoured a little bit too much, I could flip the side over like this versus like this, and this will kind of diffuse the effect. So that is what you get. Okay, so I may actually even add a little bit more to this side, because it looks like this side needs just a little bit more bronze love. Okay, so once that is complete, I'm actually going to go back into my powder, same powder, and tap in and then just gently tap off. I'm going to just very ever so lightly frame my forehead with the bronzer. So this is creating that sun-kissed effect. And I'm using very, very light strokes and just making sure the color goes on lightly and uniformly along my complexion. Okay, so making sure everything is blended in. Okay, so right there, I've created a really pretty, already you can tell it warms up my skin, it looks a little bit more bronzy. And then whatever's left over, I'm just taking it into my temples. So this is kind of creating the framework for my monochromatic peachy bronzy gold effect. Now, if I feel like I've put on a little bit too much, I think I'm fine, but I actually take a fluffy blender brush and I just buff a little bit of the excess out This brush has no product on it, so I'm just making sure everything is lightly blended and not streaky. Okay, so that is a great starting point. Next up, I'm going to take my Luminizing powder from Honest Beauty. The shade is in Dawn Reflection, and this is a really gorgeous, peachy, slightly bronze, warm shade. I'm going to place this color along the apple of my cheek, and then I'm going to blend it out up towards my temples. So this is almost going right on top of that Lolo bronzer. And the brush that I'm using is actually from Hourglass. It's their number 2 brush. It's really great for cheek color or sculpting or even working with any cream products. So I'm going in and I'm just buffing very lightly the color over the tops of my cheeks. And then I'm moving outward a bit towards the edges of my face, kind of moving towards the temple. So this creates a really pretty luminosity and glow right on top of the bronzer. And once again, it works with the continuity, so it also continues in creating that warm kind of peachy glow. Okay, so monochromatic makeup doesn't have to look severe, it doesn't have to look super obvious, it could still look well blended and natural looking. It's just nice to sometimes use a few different products to achieve that without going overboard. So that and a light hand and knowing just works what works well with your skin tone is definitely a benefit. So I'm going back in a little bit further with my Dawn Reflection Luminizing powder. I'm just brushing it along the very top edge of my nose, not the tip of my nose, just right along the bridge. And then I'm also just going to take it and dust it a little bit right above the edge of my brow. Okay. So now the complexion for the monochromatic look is complete. I'm going to now move on to eyes. Okay, so I'm actually going in, this is the only eyeshadow palette I will use, and I'm just using a few of these colors. This is also from Honest Beauty. This is the Truly Warm Sable Brown eyeshadow trio. I just love their eyeshadows. They're very well pigmented, they blend easily, and they stay and they last, which anyone can appreciate. So I'm going to take my fluffy, this is a brush that I have from Rouge Bunny Rouge. It's the crease brush right here. And I'm going to go into the lightest shade actually. And this is just kind of like a bone matte cream shade. And I'm going to just create a very light highlight with the shade underneath my brow. And then I'm going to pop it a little bit along the inner corner as well. So that's really just meant to brighten up the eye area and to highlight, but without using any shimmer. So I'm going ahead right in there underneath the brow and then along the inner corners of the eyes. Repeating the same step on the next eye. Okay, so once that is done, I am going to go back into my Luminizing powder from Honest Beauty, and I'm going to take my brush that is a little bit more tapered and less fluffy. This is from Sigma. It's a small tapered E45 brush. And I'm going to just dab that in, tap any excess off, and then I'm going to run it just along the center of my lid. And that's going to create that continuity once again with the highlight that I have here. So it's going to be the same product used a few different ways. So the colors and the tones across the entire complexion are similar to each other. Okay. This is just going over the center part of the lid, and I'm blending back and forth. And that's going to create a really pretty pop too and a nice highlight, because this shade is a really pretty kind of pearlized highlighter. I love that it brings dimension and glow, but it's not overly shimmery or heavy, so it's easy to work with. Okay, so now using the same exact brush, I'm actually going to go back into my Lolo bronzer. So remember I mentioned you can use several different products, or just a few of the same products, I should say, several different ways. This is one way. And with that same exact brush, I'm going into my cap and I'm gently creating a contour into the outer edge of my lid, so right where the crease folds. And I'm just blending that all in. So as you could tell, this is automatically warming up my eye to match the contour that I have right here on the outer edge of the eye. Okay, so This is a really nice step and it just warms up the lid. And just know that you can do that with any of your products. So like any bronzer that you have or any cheek color, given the correct tone and that it's not over the top, you can actually use it as a multi-purpose product and use it as an eyeshadow. Okay, so I'm going in and adding a little bit more of that contour on the outer edge of the eye. Okay, there's that. And now that I have the desired warmth that I like, I'm just going to take my Rouge Bunny Rouge Fluffy brush and just make sure everything is lightly blended in. Okay, and now an extra step just to add a teeny bit more definition. I'm going to take my smallest brush that I have here, if I could find it. Here we go. This is a crown brush that I have. It's from the Makeup Show. It's a limited edition item. I'm going back into my Honest Beauty trio and I'm going to take the deepest color, the deepest shade in the middle right here. Tap that off and I'm just going to use a little bit of that shade along the very outer edge of my eye. And this is just going to create a little bit more depth right here on the outer edge. So just taking it and then going right along the lash line and then building it up a little bit. So you have a little bit more dimension and a little bit more definition right across that outer edge. You could even use this as an eyeshadow too if you just want to skip an actual eyeliner pencil. It's a little bit more of a softer effect and not as sharp and severe. So I could even build this up and make it more intense, go a little bit smoky with it, but my intention here is just to add a little bit more definition in the outer corner, so I'm going to keep it a little bit more on the light side. Okay, going a little bit back in. And then if I want to add a little bit definition below and use it as an eyeliner, I can then go ahead and just gently smudge the shadow along my outer edge lash line, working about 1/3 of the way in. Okay, so this creates a little bit more definition below. And then I'm going to go ahead and curl my lashes. I'm using my trusty Kevyn Aucoin eyelash curler, which I've been using for ages. It never lets me down. Then I'm going to follow with my Mineral Fusions Lengthening Mascara in black. And I'm just going to add a nice light layer, working and wiggling the wand from the base of the lashes, moving upward. So I'm skipping eyeliner for this look, but you can add eyeliner before this. If you were to add eyeliner to this look, I'd recommend a chocolate colored pencil or a brown espresso pencil just to work in and complement all the warm tones on the skin already. Okay, once mascara is on, I'm going to move on to lips. So keeping within the kind of warm, peachy bronze effect, I'm going to use a favorite lip crayon from Ilia Beauty, and this shade is Come Undone. It's a really pretty peachy nude. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to line and fill in with this. This is why I love lip crayons. They serve a dual purpose. So I'm going to go in and fill in first. And I think this is just the perfect shade to complement this look because of the peachy, warm undertone of this pencil. Okay, so filling in the top and the edges. Then dabbing in. Okay, so now that that is on, I'm going to finish with gloss. And the perfect final complement to this look is a beautiful sparkling champagne peach color. This is from Burts. The shade, I don't know if it's listed on here. I don't think it is, and I apologize. I'll look it up though and I'll list it down below. So this is the shade from Burts. It's their lip gloss. And it's just the prettiest kind of champagne warm peachy gold tone. And I'm just going to pop that over the center of my lips, on the top and the bottom. Okay, so that completes my peachy bronze gold monochromatic look. It's easy to achieve, and really it's just a matter of using a handful of products, and many of these products serve a dual multi-use purpose, which is great. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this, and if you did love this video, please give it a like, share it, subscribe, show your love, and comment as well. I'm going to list all the products that I use down below, as well as where you could purchase them, and thank you so much for watching. Have an awesome day, guys. Bye.